Hello there. How are you doing today? I hope you are doing fantabulous because I know I am. Welcome back to In the Kitchen with Abeje Theatra. So let's get right to it. What are we cooking today? Fried quinoa. Funny-ish story. We are cooking fried quinoa because we have not gone to the farmer's market yet. And by we, I mean myself. I'm left with whatever is in my kitchen. Who gave you permission to make that noise? We don't have many things left over, but I was like, you know what? Let's see what's in my refrigerator. Let's see what's in my cabinets and just make something. So today is really not a set recipe. I'm really just experimenting, but I'm hoping that it turns out great. And if it does, I will make sure that all of the ingredients and measurements or stuff are in the description below. If it turns out like crap, I'm still not gonna scrap this video. I'm gonna share it with you just because I can, and hey, sometimes we may not like something but somebody else may like it. But the kitchen is all about experimentation and just trying new things, so why not? Let's go ahead and get started, and let me tell you what these ingredients are. So obviously we're making fried quinoa, right? So the very first ingredient is quinoa. Now technically there are different types of quinoa. They have tricolored quinoa, this regular tan-ish white sesame seed looking quinoa. They also have black quinoa, but I chose this one. Let's go to those other ingredients. So here in this lovely glass bowl, we have 1 giant carrot, half of a red bell pepper, half of 1 white onion, and 2 celery stalks. And in here we've got 2 cloves of garlic and literally just 1 teaspoon of ginger. I want to be very careful with that. Before we get started on cooking, I just want to go through the rest of like the seasonings and everything. We're going to have some liquid aminos, or if you just want to use soy sauce, you're more than welcome to do that, but I prefer liquid aminos. I'm going to also have Worcestershire sauce. Those are really the only 2 wet ingredients. Everything else is going to be smoked paprika, ground turmeric, white ground pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, a little bit of Himalayan pink salt or whatever salt you want to use. And then these things aren't seasonings, but I just like to put them in my food: black chia seeds and flaxseed meal. So now we can get started. For anyone who saw my last video on making quinoa black bean burgers, you already know when we're making quinoa, we need 1 part water, 1 part quinoa. I'm going to have 2 cups of quinoa, which means I'll also need 2 cups of water. And now we can take it to the stove. If you guys don't know this, a little tip again, when it comes to quinoa, it is very difficult to season it. Like, you have to toss a lot of seasoning on it in order for it to absorb flavor. So I'm taking this vegan bouillon cube. It's not chicken. I really love it. I'm just going to put it in here, turn on my stove, and allow that to melt into the water, and the quinoa will absorb all of that water and the flavor. We want the quinoa to come to a boil, then we're gonna put it on simmer, put the top over it, and just wait until it absorbs almost all of the water. So while the quinoa is cooking, since that's gonna take approximately 15 to 20 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and start cooking the rest of these lovely vegetables. I've got my cast iron skillet. I'm going to take some olive oil. I don't know how much, but I just want to cover the bottom of my pan, right? And I'm going to turn the stove onto a little past medium high, give it a second to heat up before I start throwing everything in there. Good. My skillet should be hot enough now, so I'm going to go ahead and throw in these ingredients. I haven't put in the garlic or the ginger yet. I'm gonna make sure oil gets evenly spread on all of these veggies. Let them saute for probably 2 to 3 minutes before I add any seasonings. All right, y'all, so in my little container here, I have 1.5 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1.5 teaspoons of onion powder, 1.5 teaspoons of white ground pepper, a full tablespoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 a teaspoon of curry powder, 1/2 of a teaspoon of chili powder, something I added, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of turmeric. All right, so I'm gonna dump all of that in here. Yay. Oh, it smells great. And just so you guys know, I did turn down my pan like a little under half heat. So yeah, since I'll be straining the quinoa in literally like 2 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and add in the ginger and garlic. Some of you might be wondering why I put all of these seasonings before putting in the quinoa. To me, once I put a bouillon cube in the water, the quinoa tastes really good and I don't really have to season it anymore. But since it'll be mixed with this stuff that's already seasoned pretty properly, then it'll just all blend together anyway. So that's why. At least that's how it usually works for me. All right, so I am about to strain the quinoa now. I am gonna put just a tiny bit of Himalayan salt in it, literally just taking like a cap, well, a little bit on my cap edge, just a little bit. Now I will add in my liquid aminos. Let's see, here's 1 tablespoon worth, almost 1 tablespoon at least. I'm gonna mix that in. Honestly, I could probably use 2 full tablespoons. I'm gonna go ahead and mix this quinoa with the vegetables. It's actually a lot of quinoa. So I just mixed all the stuff together. I'm gonna go ahead and add in my flaxseed meal. I always add it in. And then I'm gonna sprinkle some chia seeds in as well. Those 2 things are very, very optional. Since I've been experimenting, I'm actually gonna try this and see what it tastes like before I add anything else, because I still haven't put in any Worcestershire sauce. So let's see. Oh, I know it's hot. So it's actually not bad. It just needs more seasoning. So let us fix that. I do want to add the Worcestershire sauce now. I'm gonna put 1 teaspoon and that's it. That'll give it a tangy flavor. Put in 1 more teaspoon of garlic powder, another pinch of salt. I was right about the Worcestershire sauce. So earlier I had put 1 tablespoon of my liquid aminos. I'm just gonna put in 1 more teaspoon and see if that really sets it on edge. Well, it certainly set the stove on edge. So my experimental quinoa is done. I'm gonna go ahead and plate it or bowl it and show you guys the end results. All right, you guys, so this is the finished product of the fried quinoa with all the lovely vegetables inside. If you're wondering what this red is, it's cayenne pepper because your girl loves kicking spice. And then I threw some parsley on top just for another color for decoration purposes of presenting this to you. But let's go ahead and try it. She had nothing to do with this change. It was you. It was you, always thinking of you. I guess I should mix up my quinoa. I've got pepper, celery, onion, and carrot on my spoon. This is really good. Experiment, not a fail. Oh Lord. If it's a fail, I promise y'all I wouldn't have posted it for real. Unless I was making a cooking show of failed attempts, and I am not. Okay? This was great. And you know what? I did not put any nutritional yeast in here, but there is a small aspect of it that is a little cheesy, like some was put in here. But I'm not complaining. This is very good. So there you have it, folks. Here is some delicious fried quinoa. Remember, all recipes are very modifiable depending on what you like / what you don't like. Sometimes you might put a certain amount of seasoning, think it's good enough, and then discover, oh, I need to put more. Kind of like I did. So again, all those measurements will be put in the description below for you. Otherwise, I hope you guys have an excellent day, a magnificent day. Make it a great day on purpose. Be intentful with your day. And I will see you guys next time.